first knife I'd like to talk to you about today are my Queen Steel knives. Queen Steel is a company that was established in 1922 by 6 highly skilled employees of the old Schatt Morgan Knife Company, a company that I think we're all familiar with, quality knives. But these knives are near and dear to my heart because as a young person years ago, I was able to afford these knives. For example, the first knife is an easy open knife. The back spring is a steel back spring with brass liners. The scales are bone handled. The blades, easy open with a pull of probably about a 4. A nice click. It has the emblem. Well, a lot of these knives had the emblems on the blade. But as time went on and I sharpened some of these myself because I used them, the emblem or acid wash emblem etched off. It also has a Queen Steel emblem. It says Queen on this particular knife. The bolsters are nickel silver. You have just a very nice knife that's an everyday carry. I would say that this knife is an older knife because I've had them for a while and they've lasted for a while. There is some cracking in the bone at the rivets, but that's okay. It's not a lot, just a small one. The steel is stainless steel and it sharpens very, very, very well. These two knives are two of the same knives. I also like the fact that they have the half stop, which is good. A lot of your more expensive knives, the half stop and that click is something that everybody desires. This knife with a black Delrin handle, nickel silver bolsters, it does not have a half stop, it's more of a slip joint. It has Queen on the side of the blade. It's etched in on the blade, and it has on the blade Queen, and it says 76. It also is a very, very good knife. The only difference is it does have like a thumb for opening, if a thumb hoop so you can open it. I would say I wouldn't use that because I have big thumbs and I'm always afraid I'm going to cut myself. The knife is tight and the knife is centered in the blade. And again, these knives are reasonable knives considering I was a young man and I could afford them. Before that, the knife that I would get would be something like a Colonial. The Colonials had pretty much the same thing, although a lot cheaper, nickel silver bolsters. It also has the blade that is looks like a carbon steel blade rather than stainless steel. The back spring is a steel back spring with brass liners. This knife is an everyday carry, the kind of knife if you lose it, you won't be so upset about it. But I had plenty of these, and these are what was available at the time when I was a younger guy. This knife is near and dear to my heart. It was a knife that I purchased from my mother-in-law, who was an antique collector. This, as best I can tell, the bone is like a honey bone, nickel silver bolsters, stainless steel spring, brass lined. The blade itself is a spear point blade. There's no etching on the blade as do some Queen Steel knives have, but there is Queen Steel at the hilt on the base of the blade. It says just Queen Steel. It has a good click and it also has a half stop. Again, Schatt Morgan made these knives. The people from Schatt Morgan made these knives. And these knives are quality knives. Not sure if you can find this one anymore. I looked to see if I could. I could not find any more, and I feel very fortunate to have found this one. The next knife is a knife that is also a Queen Steel knife, different than the Easy Open. I didn't find this one in my literature, but this was a knife that my brother found. And I loved this knife so much until I begged him for it or paid him for it. I don't know what happened, but anyway, I still have this knife. It's bone handle. The blade is a slip joint type. It does have a bit of a half stop, but I'm not sure if that's what it is or not. It seems like it is, but it is a very nice knife. Over the years, which this knife is a very old knife as far as I am concerned, because I had it when I was a kid and I'm not young anymore. but it does have some gapping, and I think that's just from wear. The blade is centered, nickel silver bolsters, stainless steel spine, and brass lining. The handles are just really beautiful, the bone handle. This knife has always been a favorite of mine because I had to beg my brother for it.